Facebook and Google Plus and stuff like that. It's nice to see those pictures. But you don't get wrapped up, conservatives don't get wrapped up in other people's lives. I don't know. Do any of you out there really follow a celebrity? I don't think conservatives are really responsible or help people like the Kardashians make the Kardashians. By the way, speaking of Kardashian, if you haven't heard, Kanye and Kim, is it Kim Ye? I hate those mashup names. Anyway, yeah, Kanye and Kim West, Kardashian West, is she Kardashian or is she Kardashian West? Did she take it? I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, Kim and Kanye, they're having a second child. And evidently they know it's a boy. And yesterday, Kanye released the name that they're going to call their son. Now, remember their daughter, who's about, 2 or 3 now, something like that. Her name is North. Yes, her name is Northwest. I know. Look, it's just what celebrities do. They try to be cute and clever with their kids' names, and it ends up, it's no different from people like Zappa. Zappa's kids' names are Dweezil and Moon Unit. Yeah, Dweezil's the son, and Moon Unit's the daughter. I don't know who's. Oh, I think Dweezil's is he younger? I don't know. I don't follow those people, but he was on some celebrity stuff for a while. Dweezil, and Moon Zappa was too. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, the Kanye's daughter is North. But the son's name is it. Hey, might as well. Well, if she's going to be North, maybe you name your kid. You can't name him South or East or something. You can't name him West. Wesley West. Can't do that. If they have a third kid, they'll probably name him Wesley West now. But anyway, so I thought they were going to use something kind of that was used before, like earthy, like rain or river. But no, they did something even more freakish, just on the same note as North. Now, River is, River Phoenix. There's been a couple of rivers out there before. I don't know who would really name their son River, but there have been some male rivers. But Rain, I guess, is there was Rain prior. There's been a few girls named Rain, so I guess you really can't name a boy. I guess Rain is really a girl's name. But North North is a kind of a boy's name, but they named their daughter North, so I don't know. But in any case, the son is not going to get the name North because his sister already has it. But he's still going to get a rather religious name. Yes, the baby boy yet to be born in the Kim and Kanye household will be named Saint West. Does anybody know the middle names of these? Do these kids have any middle names? I don't know. But there you go. So his son's name is going to be Saint West. So we have North and Saint. And speaking of, isn't there? I think in Iceland there's an approved list of names, and you have to get special permission to name your child something that is not on that approved list. So I guess all those wonderful made up African American names that we send that white people all of a sudden seem to be taking hold of. Yes, I actually saw a story about a white male, about 16 years old, LaShawn. Now, when I first read the story, I thought for sure, no, okay, it's a story about a black kid. Nope. 16-year-old white male, LaShawn. Okay. So I guess white people are starting to do that too now. But in Iceland, I don't think you can do that. You got to get permission. You got to, or you get fined or heavily fined. I think if you try to. No, they don't fine. They just don't let you register the name because you got to. It's like a birth certificate. You got to register the name, and you can't register it. And of course, the kid's name has got to be. The kid's got to get a birth certificate and got to be registered, and they won't let you do it if you have some name that is not pre-approved. Go figure. Needing approval to name your own kid. Well, they're trying to keep their certain standards in Iceland, I guess. But there's less than 400,000 Icelanders. I don't. Do they also make sure that I don't? I should probably find out more about that before I. Guess we can't take anybody away from Iceland. Not enough of them there. Anyway, back to reality. Not the song. I know that there are people out there who are. I brought this up on yesterday's show, and there were people that were talking about. Well, this is a conspiracy. These two didn't really do what they are accused of doing, and I'm like, okay, yeah, conspiracy theorists. But we know we have this issue with Muslims. And there are people that try to say, well, it's just radical Islam, Rod. Just Well, I'm telling you that they're all radical then. I know we use the term radicalized. No, they're all radical. If you want to call it radical, sure, then they're radical. But they're all that way. Well, that's not true, Rod. There are some peaceful. Let me tell you something. They read the same Quran. They have the same, but not just because they do not act upon those beliefs. There are many Christians who do not actually live the Christian life. There are many Muslims who do not actually live the Muslim life. But for those who are look, when you don't call them radical Christians when you have people on the right, the Christian right, who actually you call them Bible thumpers. I mean, you ostracize them. And somebody says, well, praise the Lord. I mean, and all they do is say, praise the Lord every single day, after everything they say, after everything they do, after everything they eat, praise the Lord. You got to follow this and follow the letter of the law in the Bible. We call them Bible thumpers. They're not usually welcomed into open society, but for some reason, we want to welcome Muslims who have the same type of belief on the Islamic side as those Bible thumpers do on the Christian side. And we want to say, well, they're not radical. Only the radical ones are actually going to grab a gun and start shooting people. Well, we don't know at what point in time one of these Bible thumping, Quran thumping Muslims are going to decide, well, now I'm going to go from the Quran thumping and take it up a notch and become a radical. It seems to happen overnight. So it is very difficult to determine who of these people are going to end up killing Americans. And we know for sure that there are some of them that is exactly what they're bent on doing in the first place. That is what they've been trained to do. That when they are called upon, and somebody once brought up the conspiracy theory that they're all brainwashed, and there's a code word, a keyword that gets said, and then all of a sudden they snap into action. Because otherwise, that must have been what happened with this guy, because he worked with these people that he shot. They threw him and his wife a baby shower, and then one day, all of a sudden, he just walks in and shoots them? Like, no, there has to be some sort of brainwashing code going on there, like hypnotizing, where somebody must have said a word that set him off. Like, it really doesn't matter. This is what these people believe because it is written in their Quran or their Bible. Infidels shall be either they convert or they die. There is no in between. So this whole notion that Trump is out there saying that we need to get a better handle not only on those who want to come here, but those who are already here. Now, you might want to say that, I guess it's a little difficult to prove the constitutionality of saying, well, we're going to, get all of these guys. We can't even get, Latinos, illegal immigrants across the southern border to register. So how are we going to get all the Arabic Muslims to register, to be followed around or what have you? But he makes some very good points about that. We need to know what these people are doing, who they're talking to, how they're talking. And we're not saying limit their speech or their movements, but hey, when you turn around and they start doing this stuff and start taking lives, I'm not talking about taking away the freedom and the constitutional liberties as afforded and protected by the Constitution for citizens. I'm talking about making sure that you're paying attention to those people who are not yet citizens, who are only here on a visa, which means that they're here by invitation. We invite them in. They invite themselves, I guess you could say. They apply for a visa, but we still invite them in. We say, okay, you can come in. Behave yourself. If you don't behave yourself, we're gonna toss you out. That's what we should be doing. If they don't behave themselves, we should be tossing them out on their rear. In other words, giving them a free ride home, a one-way ticket to back from whence they came, so they don't come back, and you don't let them back, of course. But you got to be able to understand, where they're coming from, who they're constantly hanging around, and like the poor neighbor over there who thought he was going to be called a racist if he said anything, which is a bunch of bunk because he should have said something. But this is what the liberals have reduced us to. But if you see these kind of people walking back and forth in and out of the house, and they're carrying boxes in, but nothing's coming out, you got to wonder what the hell is going on over there. You can't just let this kind of stuff happen. We've got to understand and know. And by watching your neighbor, that's not bashing their liberty or preventing them from living in liberty. But if you got nothing but a bunch of Arab guys coming in and bringing in boxes, and they don't take any boxes out, and you've already been moved in for a while, that's a little bit suspicious activity there. So you got to ask yourself, is Donald Trump too far off base? I don't think so. There are scholars out there, constitutional scholars, which is really kind of an oxymoron because it doesn't take a scholar to understand the Constitution. But there are Constitution scholars out there that say Trump's expressed Muslim ban is most likely constitutional. Well, hey, look, Congress has the Constitution gives Congress the authority over immigration and naturalization, and Congress can limit. Look, we have quotas as it is from different countries. Do you know that? There are certain countries that once that quota is met for the year, nobody else from that country can come that year. We have quotas, believe it or not. So we could set forth a quota of 0 from certain Middle Eastern countries, from certain Muslim-based Arabic countries. Congress has that power. Constitution gives them that power to regulate the commerce and immigration and naturalization and all that kind of stuff. It is their purvey. So they get to make the laws. I know some people are thinking, well, it's not fair. We're not talking. Well, you know what? Being killed at a Christmas party is also unfair, don't you think?
When our water